The Detroit Lions started the season 1-6 this year, Tony, before going on a 6-1 run, and they now
Yep.
sit at 7-7 on the season, 2 spots from being a playoff team, and they are 3-1 in the NFC North. Are the Lions making the playoffs this year with 3 games left?
I forgot to
Teams above
mention.
them, New York Giants, Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I forgot to mention. I'm going to go back a second, take a step back before I take 2 steps forward here.
There
I'm
you
going
go.
to pat myself on the back. You mentioned the
Jesus.
Jets
Again?
not making the playoffs. What were they? This is like 4 or 5 episodes ago, so 4 or
Yeah.
5 weeks ago. They were sitting at what, 6-2, 6-3, something like that. And I told you,
Yeah.
I don't think they're finishing over 500.
Mhm.
You know what their record is now? Here in week 15, 16 now, I guess.
Why
They're
don't you tell us?
7-7. They're
Yeah.
7-7, Nate.
You gotta go 2-1. Finish up the
Yeah.
season.
Zach Wilson fucking sucks.
Yeah.
God, he's bad. I
Who's
saw
not playing that
something.
one?
I
Did you
I
see
saw
Robert Saleh's
something.
comments?
Yeah. I saw a stat on, I don't have all of like his season long stats, but I heard something yesterday on short passes. He was like so inaccurate. He ranked out of like 450 performances on the year. How they grade this metric on these short passes. He was so inaccurate. He was like the 440th out of like 450 graded performances so far on the season.
Yeah.
On short passes.
Yeah.
Like we're talking dump offs or quick slants. Like you really
Mhm.
can't hit that as an NFL quarterback. What are you even doing? What are you doing in the NFL?
I don't
Like I don't
know.
think he'll be in the NFL a couple years from now. He's trash.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be harder for him to get a second contract unless he like drastically improves
Yeah.
next year, right? And make some big strides. Um, it's weird because the expectation now is like you build a team and then you put a quarterback in it and then you win. But it's
Yep.
like for the almost the eternity of the NFL, it's never really been like that, right?
Hmm.
These Joe Burrow making it in his first like real full season is like an anomaly, right? But that's now the standard, and
You
that's
got
what
to do it on the
everybody's
rookie deal. You have to.
that's that's what it's graded on, right?
Yeah.
But then you look at the quarterbacks. Granted, there are different names there, right? But like, oh, I think it was over like a 15-year span. Like it was Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, and
Yeah.
then 1 year of Joe Flacco, right?
Yep.
And then the other side of the house was whatever it was. But
Yep.
they're all guys who've been in the league a long time and stuff like that, right? And they didn't perform drastically well of what the expectation is, coming
Hmm.
out of college and stuff like that. But there was somebody on one of these podcasts. It might have been on one of those Champions Leagues when we were doing those podcasts,
Yeah.
right? We're talking Ricky Draft. And it was when everybody hyped up Zach Wilson because he rolled out left in a
Just one throw. One
yeah,
good throw.
he rolled out left in a rookie premiere or whatever like that. And I forget what they call it, right? But team workout or whatever, rolled out left and he threw it across his body to the right side, rolling left, and it was like a 60-yard bomb, right? With
Yeah.
nobody on this dude and dropped it in the pocket. And that's when they were, oh, Zach Wilson, Zach Wilson. There might have been one person who sat there and
Yeah.
said, you can't make those throws in the NFL. That is an interception that goes to the house.
Yep.
I don't know who that person is. It probably rings with Haterade 530, but it might be me. So,
Nice.
but do you think the Lions make the playoffs?
All right. Now that we're done patting ourselves on the back, we'll move on.
You can't come in here and just make the whole damn show about you and then be like, my goddamn portfolio, I'm not as rich as I was. And then
Yeah.
sit there and say, and blame it on kids' college when you know they're not going to go to college because they'll find something else that they want to do that doesn't need college. And then come up and talk about how great you are about some take you had 6 weeks ago. We're going to go over our hot takes later on in the season or after
Good.
the NFL season.
Good. Got some real bad ones. Can't wait to bring those up.
Oh,
So
man.
Detroit, from week 12 on, this is a little after they kind of caught fire. They've had the number 3 ranked offense in terms of like efficiency, number 13 ranked defense, and they're third against the run. So they've been shutting teams down. So the question is, does Detroit make the playoffs? There's 2 teams ahead of them currently for the last playoff seed. So not counting the Giants, that's Washington and Seattle. Those guys are in I guess that'd be what the 7th spot. So one of the playoff spots, and then the 8th spot. So right there on the bubble. I was looking at the schedule because I do think Detroit makes it, but just to add some like context, why Detroit's scheduled to end the season, they got Carolina coming up this week, winnable. Chicago 2 weeks from now, winnable, and then Green Bay definitely winnable if they're playing, in week 18 the way they're playing now, and they have to win that game. I think they can win all 3. Washington, they get San Fran this week. San Fran's still playing, so no thank you. Cleveland, Deshaun's still not playing great, but it seems like they're figuring it out, definitely on defense. Defense is
Hmm.
kind of carrying them. And then Dallas. And Dallas might be playing for something, especially if they beat Philly this week, which I think they
Yep.
will. That line's
Ooh.
kind of swung drastically with Jalen Hurts out.
Ooh.
It's
Yeah.
not. I don't think that's that
It's
spicy.
it's come back
A
the
little
other
spicy.
way.
A little spicy.
It
Has it?
got up. I
It.
think it. I don't know the last time you saw it. I saw it this morning at 6, and
I
then
saw it
when
at
I
five and a
checked
half.
just a little bit ago, it was like 4.5. Philly
Interesting.
or four and
Interesting.
a half to Dallas.
Okay. But
Yeah.
I do think Dallas wins the game. But back to the Seahawks now. Their schedule: Kansas City. They're going to lose that game. They got the Jets. They'll be playing good defense. Mike White might be back. This is 2 weeks from now. And then the Rams to end it. Whatever, they win that game. But looking at those team schedules, like Detroit has the most favorable matchups down the
Yep.
stretch. So I think they make it, and I hope they do. Like they're fun. They're a fun team to watch. Love
Yeah.
Dan Campbell. I like Jared Goff.
Put
We
some
talk a lot of
fucking
shit about him.
respect on my boy.
He
Woo!
took him and Sean McVay like took the Rams to the Super Bowl with no Cooper Cup and then Todd Gurley on one leg. Like he did some good
Oh
stuff
my
that season.
god. I gotta go like next day order a Jared Goff jersey and send it to your house for Christmas. Hell yeah.
I regret it because you're gonna sound clip the shit out of that. Ugh.
That was so good.
But yeah,
Uh,
they're going to the playoffs. Let's go.
yeah, I think they can go 2-1 in that time frame. They do have to compete with Green Bay a little bit. I think that's the one thing that if Green Bay can, string along 3 straight wins, then there's a potential for Green Bay to slide in there
Yep.
as well. But I would like to see Detroit get there. I ragged on Dan Campbell and his coaching record and stuff like that, but it's kind of nice to see it turn around, right?
Yeah.
Talked about him compared to the last guy who might have had a lot of pigment in his skin. But his record is drastically worse than that dude's or whatever. But it's nice
Mhm.
to see it kind of come along, right? It's really fun to see, and I'm happy for Jared Goff in that sense too. So good to see him play pretty decently in an outdoor game against a really good defense last week too. So
Yeah. He made a
yeah,
big throw. I
yeah,
forget the tight end, Brock Wright or something like that. That was
yep,
huge.
yep. Have you seen that call from the Lions announcer or whatever like that? I'll,
No, I think I
I
saw a
have to
highlight on
send
like
you.
Red Zone or something.
I have to send you a clip. There's one of the Detroit Lions posted on their TikTok or all their social feeds in short form.
Yeah.
That's like the announcer basically doing it right, and like I has to like hold up like what the how many yards it was and all this stuff. You
Yeah.
get to see it from the booth, him getting pumped up for it. That was pretty
It's
cool.
awesome.